Okay guys, I will review my chemistry exam. So first question, which row describe the structure and bonding of SiO2 and SiCl4? So the correct answer is B because SiO2 has a covalent bond and a giant structure or giant covalent lattice. And SiCl4 has a covalent bond but is made of separate molecules, so it's compact or simple molecular. Okay, next question. In the high temperature of car engines, nitrogen react with oxygen to give nitrogen monoxide. Which reaction pathway diagram could correctly represent this reaction? So the correct answer is C. Because the reaction has delta H plus 90 kJ mole, it is endothermic. For an endothermic reaction, product have higher energy than reactant. Therefore, the NO level must be above the half N2 plus half O2. The activation energy EA must be measured from the reactant energy level to the peak. Okay, next. When 0.47 gram of a hydrocarbon is completely burned in air, the energy release heats 200 gram of water from 23.7 Celsius to 41 Celsius. What is the amount of energy absorbed in joule by the water? So the correct answer is C because the heat absorbed by the water is calculated using Q equals mc delta T. And the constant value of C is 4.18. And now we can reduce 41 minus 23.7 and the result we get 17.3. And now we know the mass of water is 200 gram and the temperature change is 41.0 minus 23.7 equals 17.3 Celsius. Next, the standard enthalpy change of combustion of carbon, hydrogen, and methanol are shown, which expression gives the standard enthalpy change of formation of methanol in kilojoule mole. So the correct answer is C, because by Hess's law, the enthalpy of formation of methanol equals the sum of the combustion enthalpies of carbon and 2 moles of hydrogen minus the combustion enthalpy of methanol. Delta HF equals minus 394 plus 2 minus 286 and minus 726. Okay, next question. All the reactant and product of an exothermic reaction are gases. Which statement about this reaction is correct? So the correct answer is C because an exothermic reaction has a negative delta H, meaning more energy is released when strong bonds are formed in the product. Therefore, the total bond energy of the product is greater than of the reactant. Next, compound X in an oxide of a period 3 element. Compound X is a white solid at 25 degrees Celsius. It reacts with water to form an acidic solution. What is compound X? So the correct answer is D because phosphorus oxide or P4O10 is a white solid at 25 degrees Celsius and react with water to form phosphoric acid H3PO4, producing an acidic solution. Which substance does not give HCl when water is added to it? So the correct answer is A because MgCl2 is ionic compound that only dissolves in water and does not produce HCl gas unlike the covalent chloride Al2Cl6, SiCl4 and PCl5 which react with water to form HCl. Next question. The element in period 3 and their compound show trend across the period from sodium to sulfur. Which row is correct? So the correct answer is C because the electronegativity of period 3 element increased from sodium to sulfur, while the oxide change from basic to amphoteric to acidic across the period. Q, R, and S are consecutive elements in period 3 of the periodic table. Element R has the highest first ionization energy and the lowest melting point of these three elements. What are the identities of Q, R, and S? So the correct answer is D, because phosphorus has the highest first ionization energy and the lowest melting point among the three consecutive period tree elements Si, P, and S. This question is about the hydroxide and carbonates of magnesium and barium. Which row is correct? So the correct answer is A, because hydroxide solubility and carbonate thermal stability both increase down group 2, so BaOH2 is more soluble and BaCO3 is more thermal stable. In group 2 of the periodic table, the properties of the element and their compound show regular change down the group. Which property shows a decrease from magnesium to barium? The correct answer is D, because the solubility of group 2 sulfate decreased from magnesium to barium, while the thermal stability of carbonate and nitrate and the solubility of hydroxide all increase down the group. An excess of MgO is shaken with water. The resulting mixture is filtered into test tube X. And excess of BaO is shaken with water. The resulting mixture is filtered into test tube Y. Which oxide react more readily with water and which filtrate has the lower pH? The correct answer is A, because BaO react more readily with water than MgO, while the filtrate from MgO has a lower pH because MgOH2 is much less soluble than BaOH2. W is a solid that reacts with water to produce an alkaline solution. The addition of 2 drops of dilute H2SO4 to this alkaline solution produces a white precipitate. What could be the identifier of solid W? The correct answer is C, because BaO reacts with water to form BaOH2, an alkaline solution. When dilute H2SO4 is added, insoluble with BaSO4, precipitate is formed. Which row gives compression between the solubilities of calcium hydroxide and barium hydroxide and the thermal stabilities of calcium carbonate and barium carbonate? So the correct answer is D, because the solubility of group 2 hydroxide increased down the group, while the thermal stability of group 2 carbonate also increased down the group. Okay, next, paper 2. Both carbon monoxide and nitrogen are gases at room temperature and pressure. They both behave like ideal gas under certain conditions. State the two conditions necessary for these two gases to approach ideal gas behavior. So I have 4 answers. The answer is: first, no intermolecular force; second, volume negligible; low pressure; and high temperature. Next question. Explain why N2 behaves more like an ideal gas than CO does at 20 degrees Celsius and 101 kilopascal. So the answer is intermolecular force, no significant, and N2 has small particle. Next question. Diamond and graphite are both crystalline solid made from carbon atoms. Graphite conducts electricity. Diamond does not conduct electricity. So the question: name the type of lattice structure present in the crystalline solid diamond and graphite. So the answer is giant covalent, because both diamond and graphite are made of carbon atoms joined by strong covalent bond, and this bond extends the whole structure, forming one giant network lattice, not separate molecules. Next question. Explain how graphite conducts electricity. So the answer is delocalized electron, because each carbon atom has 4 outer electrons, and in graphite, each carbon bond to only 3 other carbon atoms. And these electrons become delocalized, free to move, and moving electrons carry electrical current. Next, explain why diamond does not conduct electricity. So the answer is not they localize? Because in diamond, each carbon atom forms 4 covalent bonds, and this means all 4 other electrons are tied up in bonds. Okay, next question. Explain why Si has a high melting point. So, because Si is a giant covalent, has the highest melting point because there are many strong covalent bonds, the structure, and a large amount of energy is needed to break this bond, so it is a high melting point.